Okay, welcome to today's session. We're going to go over our so today's session is very important because I have those basic requirements, and then we're going to watch 2 short videos about the topic I have chosen for you. Today we're going over our calendar, our question, and of course the research report basic information that you need to know. And here is our calendar for the week. Super simple. Okay. Great. Okay. You already have it in this room. Oh, you know what? I'll leave it right here. Okay, here's our week 6 calendar. So we started our research report on units on the 17th, when we came back from break. You are not to do the 3.02 assignment with the topic because I have already given you a subject that you're going to be working on. Here's the essential question. Okay, you can write that down. What are some of the benefits and controversy surrounding GMOs? What are some of the benefits and controversy surrounding GMOs? Really, you should just do it. Oh, okay. What about, oh, the other one was 13 too. Okay, are we done with that? The benefits and controversy surrounding GMOs. How many of you have already started doing some research on GMOs? Okay, a couple of you here, what about over here? Okay, so some of you are still with us, just like that. Okay. Okay, here are some videos that I want you to check out. If you are joining me via Illuminate, I want you to check out this first video. You can just copy and paste it or type it down on your own. And then those of you who are listening, we're going to watch it here. Okay, the connection is not that great. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time, otherwise we're going to get to one. Otherwise, if you guys can watch the recording, I'll send you the links of the video that I want you to watch so you can get this information, because it is very important for you to get some of the basic information before you start. Okay, those of you who aren't here joining me via Blackboard, can you hear me right now? Just give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, so you're going to have your own time to watch these videos. We're trying to watch them here and having issues with the connection. So make sure you do that at home. And then also, there is a information sheet that I want you to read. And then we're going to have a quick discussion about it. So you can just type that in and do your reading. And we're going to do the same thing here. If you don't have a highlighter, okay, I'm going to give you guys some time to read and highlight through this, and then we're going to talk about the benefits and controversies surrounding GMOs. So first of all, you need to know what it is, and that's the basic information you're going to get. I'm sorry? Yes. So right all over it. This is kind of like your introduction, especially if you haven't started doing any research. make some comments, some issues that people are worried about. It's a pretty short intro, and then you have to get to the part where you actually have a list of benefits and controversies, and that's going to help you to separate those two ideas. Active reading. So you're reading this right now, so we can answer this question. We're going to share out. Okay, I'm going to give you guys another 2 minutes to finish up. You can do a second reading at home. And if you're still in the intro part, go to the part where you have the list of benefits and controversies. So you can take a look and see why are these products, the GMOs, why are they beneficial? What is people saying about them? And what are some issues with these genetically modified organisms? Okay, let's come up with the list now. Okay, what are some benefits that you see? Okay, first of all, what are GMOs? What's the gist of it? What are they? Okay, that's what it stands for. Yeah, and what does that mean though? Yeah, so they are genetically, the seeds are genetically altered for it to have certain properties, or maybe for them to be resistant against certain things that go on with the environment. So they are being altered, okay? But a lot of people have problems with this, altering the seeds from the start. And we have a list here. These are some benefits, some people who are for this, and then we also have the controversy. So what are some benefits that people who are for this say? Why are GMOs good? Some of them say it's friendly for the environment. Okay. So you're going to find out in your own research, okay, what you really want to focus on this essay. So friendly for the environment. What else? Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? Okay. So the taste. Okay, what about increasing yield? Okay, so we're increasing the amount. What else can we add to the benefit side? I heard from this table. I'm here a little bit from this other table. What else is a benefit here? What else? Okay. So improve animal health. Good. Okay, what else do we have here, Brendan? Medicine. Okay. So what about medicine? What can we write here? It improves medicine? Okay. Maybe increases food security. So they're saying there's more food for starving population. Okay, what about some issues with this? What are some issues, controversies with this?
It has severe health impacts.
Okay, severe health impacts. Okay, so since this is the first time we're doing this, we really don't know what the consequences are. We don't know what's going to happen later on, right? This just started in the mid-1990s, so it's pretty new. What else? That last table over here. Help me out. What's the controversy? Look at the controversy slide. What's one thing we can add here?
It could have allergies in it.
Yeah, we don't know what impact it has on humans, right? Since we're consuming this. So we can add allergies, you know, health concerns. We don't know what's going to happen. Good. Another important one is labeling. Right? It's not required here in the United States to label whether your food is GMO or non-GMO. I like how they placed it under subtopics. You have ethics. Okay, does this violate our ethics of kind of playing with nature? Is it going to get us in the end? Okay, so that could be another one. Okay, there are so many subtopics that you can include in your essay. So, in your essay, you can talk about just based on your research. If you think this is beneficial, you can just focus your entire essay on the benefits. If you want to just focus on the controversies, you can do so. Or if you want to give us an overall view of both sides of the issue, you can do that as well. There's just so many different ways you can take this essay. It just needs to be, you just need to have a focus and your 3 supporting topics. I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, so let me see if I can show you those videos one more time. And if not, I will give up and you guys can do it at home. Okay, so this would be a video from Monsanto, and they are for GMOs. So let's see if it doesn't work. It seems like Illuminate is okay now, but
genetically engineered foods have deeply infiltrated the American food supply. Almost 90% of crops like corn, soybeans, canola, and sugar beets grown in the United States are now genetically modified. Genetic engineering promises increased crop yields, lower costs for farmers, and reduced use of herbicides. But are these goals really being achieved? Are you benefiting from genetically engineered crops or paying a dear price for you and your children's future? It's time for an awakening. Learn to separate the truths from the myths on genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is totally different from natural breeding methods. Its promoters claim that genetic engineering is a safe and beneficial process, even going as far as saying that it's an extension of natural plant propagation. The truth: this is a laboratory-based technique where a foreign gene is inserted into the DNA of the plant. This is an uncontrolled process because the site of insertion is random and may potentially damage the plant's genetic makeup. The mutations that occur during the genetic engineering process can lead to many unexpected changes in the resulting crops, such as poor crop performance, alterations in the food's nutritional content, toxic and allergenic effects, and unforeseen harm to the environment. Genetic engineering does not reduce pesticide use. The proliferation of genetically engineered Roundup-ready crops has led to an increase in the amount of pesticides and herbicides used. The allowed residue limit of glyphosate, the world's top weed killer, has also been increased. Monsanto promotes Roundup, its glyphosate-based pesticide, as safe and having low toxicity. But these claims are based on outdated and questionable studies. Monsanto Agriculture France was even charged with false advertising after claiming that Roundup is biodegradable and leaves the soil clean after use. Roundup is not biodegradable. In fact, Roundup's glyphosate is classified by the European Union to be dangerous for the environment. Nature always adapts, paving the way for glyphosate-resistant superweeds. This requires the increased use of stronger pesticides. Producers of the genetically engineered seeds benefit from the massive failure because of higher farmer dependence on their toxic chemicals. Genetic engineering does not increase crop yield potential. Genetically engineered crops do not increase intrinsic yield and actually have the opposite effect. Glyphosate depletes soil quality by killing the natural nutrients and organisms that are necessary for the plant's development, leading to plant diseases. Glyphosate is highly invasive and can mix with rain, air, water, soil, and groundwater. Genetic engineering creates serious environmental problems. Increased pesticide and herbicide use affects wildlife and the non-pest insect population. The increasing propagation of Roundup-ready corn and soybeans heavily contributed to the fall in monarch butterfly populations in North America. Pesticides affect the health of both GMO and non-GMO plants and can potentially kill them. Studies reveal that glyphosate leads to increased rates of sudden death syndrome, SDS, a plant disease that causes plants to turn yellow and die. Genetic engineering does not help solve climate change. Genetic engineering is justified as a climate change solution, when in reality it does nothing to solve the growing global problem. Tolerance to extreme weather conditions is too complicated to be inserted into plants through genetic engineering. Genetically engineered crops are as energy hungry as any other chemically farmed crops. GM crops consume massive amounts of energy because they are largely dependent on herbicides, which use fossil fuels during manufacture. GM crops are also dependent on nitrogen fertilizer, which emits greenhouse gases. GM proponents claim that GMOs are energy friendly because of this no-till method, which implants herbicides in the plant's genetic structure instead of plowing to control weeds, therefore reducing the number of tractor passes that farmers have to make across their fields. However, research revealed that even though the no-till method did reduce farm operations, large amounts of energy are still consumed due to the production of herbicides, mostly Roundup, used on GM crops. Genetic engineering will not help eliminate world hunger. Genetic engineering does not protect the security of our food supply and solve the problem of world hunger. For the record, there are no genetically engineered crops available that increase intrinsic yield. World hunger is actually an issue of allocation of resources. Food security can be addressed by natural breeding methods, which give birth to efficient super crops like flood-tolerant rice, drought-tolerant maize, and pest-resistant chickpeas. There are no conclusive safety studies on GMOs. Most regulatory assessments on GMOs are only based on the data provided by biotech companies applying to commercialize GM crops, the same companies that profit from the positive assessment. The U.S. FDA does not have a mandatory safety assessment process for GMOs. Independent researchers are also prohibited from using genetically engineered crops for their studies. As soon as they find problems with GM crops and food, they are immediately criticized. Their work called flawed and insubstantial. Claims of GMO safety and efficiency have been refuted by many independent studies, and yet these organisms continue to lurk and proliferate in our food supply. Over 50 countries all over the world have now passed GMO labeling laws and GMO crop restrictions in order to ensure people's health. But Canada and the United States have yet to join the roster. It's time for you to stop Monsanto and other biochemical giants from dominating your country's food and farming system. It's time to reclaim your choice for truly healthy, sustainable, and naturally grown food sources.
Okay, so that is, you're going to see, of course, it's totally against GMOs. You have a lot of facts that they provide in their video. And then here is the other side I wanted you to see. It's very short. So let me see if we can even get to that. Maybe it's not working. This one's only 2 minutes, the first one. There we go. Okay, so we just watched both videos. You guys can go back. I'll have the links, and you can watch them if you need to get more information or do a second viewing of it. Okay, so just some quick history that we learned right now. So they started in the mid-1990s with these genetically modified seeds, okay, where we alter the DNA. Companies that have created this have a patent for these GMO seeds. So of course they're in charge of them and for your use, for the farmers' use. So this situation has changed agricultural practices and has spurred controversies such as the ones that we just went over today. So there's tons of information out there. I have provided links that I think are very helpful for your research report. These are just some questions to think about as you are you're working on your paper. How do you feel about eating food that may contain ingredients made from genetically modified crops? Okay. Should you have a choice? Should products be clearly labeled? So some things to think about as to discuss with each other, to think about as you are forming your thesis statement. Okay, so we're going to get to the research report basics. So you should be writing this down. We have our research paper outline that's due Thursday, 2/26. So you have one other session next week. So you should come with your notes and with your outline ready to work. We're going to really focus on finishing that research paper the outline next week when we meet on Thursday. That is 100 points and it's due 2/26. Then you're going to have your first draft. That's due Monday, 3/9. That's 200 points. And you have your final draft. That's due Monday, 3/19, 100 points. So right after you turn in the first draft, you're going to have to give me 2 to 3 days, school days, to get back to you with feedback. Once you get that, you have until 3/19 to fix it up, to edit it, and to turn it in the Dropbox for a final draft. Again, you do not have to do the choosing a topic assignment. And then you're not turning in the finding information assignment as well. Okay, you're keeping all those notes, all the note cards as you're going through your research. Okay, so these are the 3 assignments you have to turn in. Okay, so remember those dates so you don't get far behind with these assignments. And you will have a lot of support. That's why it's important for you to come next session prepared with your notes and your research so you can fill in your research paper outline. Okay? Because if you have no research, you're going to have to start from the very beginning.
And like the first draft was more than
because the first draft, the final draft is just a cleanup and editing. And the first draft is the one that we really take a long time for us to work on. So I wanted to give it more points. The final is due 3/19. So I'm giving you the weekends to work on that. I was going to make them do like on the Friday, but I'd rather give you the weekend just in case you need extra time. Okay, so next, you want to find all these resources on Unit 4, Day 22. I sent you a K-mail. I have it in the announcement. So when the end of March comes and you say, I didn't turn in anything for Unit 4, I'm going to say, you had K-mails, we had in-person sessions, we had announcements posted that the research paper was due. So we should all know what we need to turn in for this report.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have an S and you like get all of those points and everything. What would your grade go like this?
Oh, it's going to be worth a big chunk of your grade. So, yeah, that's a lot. I think it's going to make a great impact on your grade if you do very well. So, you have research paper requirements. You want to click on that. Then you have the research paper website links and the online template that I want you to use. Okay, and then I have the due dates here as well to remind you. So everything is linked to day 22, the first day you're supposed to start the unit. The research paper requirements look like this. Okay, so I want you to read it. I'm just going to go over the most important information. These assignments need to be turned in the Dropbox, and they need to be typed. Okay, you cannot handwrite them. They have to be typed. So you can bring your notes that are handwritten. You can bring your template that's handwritten, but you need to type it up. Okay, that's how you're going to get full credit if you complete the assignment. You need to include minimum of 4 sources, and the essay should be 7 to 8 paragraphs long. And each paragraph needs to be a minimum of 7 sentences long. Okay, and the template tells you step by step what you need to do and how you can accomplish that. Okay, let's see.
So we have to do the pros and cons in our.
You can do whatever you want. It has to be about GMOs, but your thesis statement can be whatever you want it to be.
So I can do it all positive, or I can do it.
Or you can focus on different parts of GMOs, or you could do like the history, controversy. Pick 3 things you want to talk about GMOs. Okay.
Like I can do like what it is, and then do history, and then do the pros and cons.
Yep. So this is what I need you to include. You need to include your title, okay, a thesis statement. You guys are giving me great questions here. You can take this paper any direction you want to. You just need to have evidence, and you have to do your research, okay? You need to include 3 points, and each of these points are going to be your topic sentences within your thesis statement, okay? Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, so you need to have topic sentences, 2 details or pieces of information for each source listed. Okay, put that away, please. And then you need to have concluding sentence and lead in for the next paragraph. And a conclusion for your research report. Okay, so make sure that you have all of these in your report as you are working on your template, on your outline. I also have a link to the research paper website link. So these are all great resources you can use. Okay, you need to have at least 4, minimum 4. You should have more than that, way more than that. Okay, so you can access those articles online. I know, Sebastian, you were telling me you were having issues with the first 2.
Yeah, I was too.
So what I did is, if you go back, right under research paper website links, it says there's 2 links. Genetically modified foods, the overview, and then the other one that he was having issues with. Okay? Yeah, that's what he was saying. So I have them right under here. So if you have issues, just click on those and you can access them. Yeah, let me know if you're having any issues. I can try to fix those for the class. It not only helps you, it helps everyone else. And then this is what the research paper outline looks like. Next week we'll go more in detail with it. Okay, you need to bring next week your notes, your note cards with your research. Okay, and I would print out the articles that you're going to choose, at least 4. Okay, you should have more than that. and then your research paper outline. Yes.
How many articles of yours do you want? Because I have 2 from yours, and I'm thinking, and there might be 3.
Okay.
How many do you want?
That's fine.
Some of my own resources.
That's fine. If at least half would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. You can use movies as well. The video clips, make sure they're coming from legitimate sources though. Okay? You don't want it to be from a 5th grader who created the video. Okay? You want it to actually have that backup from a professional. Okay, plagiarism, please don't do it. Okay? You plagiarize, you're going to get a 0. Okay? And if so, we're going to have a meeting. And you can be dropped from the school for plagiarism. So do not do it. Make sure you give credit to whomever you are using for your paper.
Will we still get some food points?
If you plagiarize, no, you get a 0. You get an F. Yes, that's what I want you to do, to show me where you got that information. Okay. Reliable websites. Okay. There are tons of sites on this topic. Make sure they are reliable. Like I said, you don't want to be doing your research paper basing it on information that a 5th grader is sharing, okay, online. Okay, so some tips here. If it ends with .gov, that's government. So I would say, yeah, it's probably legitimate. EDU, it's from an educational organization like a university. That's a good way. That's a good domain name. .org means organization. .com, you kind of have to really be careful. It's commercial. Businesses and individuals use it. Okay, so just make sure if you see a lot of spelling mistakes right away, don't use that site. Okay, and then to determine whether a website is reliable, you may have to visit the site itself, of course, and get a feel for what's there. And again, check for grammar, spelling, attractive graphics. Okay, that kind of shows that it's more professional website and you can trust it. And some of the links, sometimes it contains links that are just junk sites, and that's not really a good, reliable source for you.
What do you mean by junk sites?
No, like they link you up to like dating sites or something weird that, you know, it doesn't have anything really to help you with. Okay, and again, take notes. I want you to follow the format suggested in K-12. Those can be physically moved and organized. And for your thesis statement, okay, I gave you the topic. You create your thesis statement. Okay, you can choose any way you want to take this paper. You can talk about, like you said, okay, the three things I want to focus on are GMOs. What are they? The history, maybe science, and maybe controversies. Okay, or maybe I just want to talk about 3 major controversies, or maybe 3 major benefits, or maybe the controversies and the benefits and something else. There's so many things you can talk about. Okay, just try to focus on 3 to start off. And make sure you have enough information for each supporting point. Okay, so next week again, you're going to turn in research paper outline due to the Dropbox typed to 26. And for you to get credit for today, turn in your notes from today's session and answer the essential question in the summary section as well. Okay, that's the end of the recording. Let's start. So welcome to Spanish 1. This is Unit 22. The agenda calendar for week 6, our essential question. And then vocabulary is on the body, and grammar is on adverbs today. This is our calendar for the week. We just started Unit 22 yesterday. Okay, so this is going to be in conjunction with your vocab and grammar for this week and next week. Here is the central question. How can adverbs change the meaning of a sentence?
How can adverbs change the meaning of a sentence?
Okay, let's go over the vocabulary, and then those of you who are here, you can feel like this as I go along. Just make sure you're getting it correct. You can submit this as samples of work to your homeroom teacher. Okay, el cuerpo, that's the body. You have el brazo, la espalda, la sangre, maybe, el cerebro, el pecho, la oreja. Okay, so that goes with la cara, the face. El ojo, what's el ojo?
Eye.
The eye. If it's more than one, it's what? Los ojos. Good. With the S, plural. Then we have la cara, and that's what you're working on right now, la cara. Las uñas. El pie. ¿Qué es el pie? The foot. Muy bien. Okay, la frente. That should be part of your vocabulary here. You should be filling it in. La frente. La frente. Look at the chart right here. You should come prepared. Here we go. Yeah, of course. La frente. And then we have el pelo. El cabello. La mano. ¿Qué es la cabeza? Yeah, your whole head. La cara is just the face. El corazón, the heart. La rodilla, the knee. La pierna, the leg. Los labios, that should be part of your vocabulary there. Okay. Los labios. La boca, what's that?
Mouth.
Your mouth. Yes. El cuello. That's the neck. I think that has. Yeah, you can say el cuello, or if you're just referring to the chin, we have la barbilla. La nariz. El hombro. La piel. El estómago. Los dientes. That's part of the chart right there. La lengua. Las pestañas. Las cejas. Y tenemos el codo. So you guys should be filling this out. You guys need a little bit more time? Okay. Okay, let's try these questions. Unas preguntas. Me duele mucho mi espalda. Espalda, look at your vocabulary. What is the correct response for this one? ¿Sí? Muy bien, your back. Me duele mucho mi espalda. Okay, número 2. Necesitamos nuestro cerebro para funcionar. What's cerebro? Blood. Brain, yes. Good. I'm glad you're thinking like that. Okay, mi piel está muy seca hoy. Yes. Yes. Skin is very dry today. Skin. Número 4. Ella tiene pelo negro. Pelo. Hair. Hair. Yes. Hair. Good job. Okay, and then you're supposed to, you can work on this. Okay. Check your responses. And then this one actually could be el cuello, right? If you're referring to just the neck, el cuello. Can I help you? Okay, so we have. Oh, okay, las mejillas. I was the cheeks. Or you can refer to it as the skin. That's fine too. Yeah, la piel. Yeah, because it's part of our vocabulary, so that's fine too. So we have el pelo, la frente, your forehead, las cejas, your brows, eyebrows, las pestañas, your eyelashes, las mejillas, or you could put la piel, that's fine too. Okay. I'm sorry? For that one? Yeah, that's fine. Los dientes, that one for sure is pointing to your teeth. La lengua, that one is pointing to the tongue. This one, it could be pointing to your chin or to your neck. So you can have this one for chin, la barbilla, o el cuello. El cuello. Los labios. Some of you might have la boca, that's fine. La nariz. Las orejas. Los oídos, yeah, that's fine too. Los ojos. Okay, so. Okay, now grammar. Okay, adverbs are words that add information about verbs. Okay, so to form most adverbs in Spanish, you simply need to take the feminine singular form of the adjective and you're going to add mente. Same thing as in English. We have the ly ending, like slowly. What's another ly ending? Quickly. What else do we have? That's an adverb in English.
Lovely.
Love. Okay, yes. So these would be your adverbs here. They're describing your verb. Same thing with Spanish. We use our adverbs, and instead of them ending with the ly, of course, they're going to end with the mente. Okay? So that tells you that's an adverb. So here's the adjective. We have lento, slow, Okay, you have to form it into the feminine singular form. So it's going to end with the A instead of the O. Lenta. And then we're just going to add the mente at the end. Lentamente. Same thing with this one. Cuidadoso. I'm going to change it to the feminine cuidadosa. And then we're going to add the mente. Cuidadosamente. Ruidoso, ruidosa. Add the mente at the end. Ruidosamente. Loudly. Difícil. Difícil stays the same. Difícilmente. Okay?
So the rule is, like, I know the first three all in the L.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is an L, that's why it's the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. So, yes, the rule is if it, you're going to have the adjective, you're going to change it to the feminine form, which is with the A,
Right.
and then the mente, okay, to turn it into an adverb.
So when you have Spanish with the in and out, how can you tell them after?
Most of them can be both. Like difícil can be both. That's why we're using the same thing. Mm-hmm. See? Adjectives like difícil do not match gender. Okay? So difícilmente. You're always thinking in your hand, that's good. So you have difícilmente. Okay. Adverbs are used to describe the way something happens. Okay, so we know this in English, I hope, right? Steve reads, and then if you want to explain how he reads, you add the adverb. Steve reads slowly. Same thing in Spanish. Steve lee. How does he read? Steve lee lentamente. Okay? So to describe the way something happens, you can also use the word con with the singular form of the noun. ¿Quién anda cuidadosamente? So we can write it this way, the way I just showed you, or you can use con and then the adjective here. ¿Quién anda con cuidado? It's, that you're not going to use the adverb. But this is just a side note. So instead use the adverb. So one or the other, not both. Okay, some adverbs do not follow the mente. So you need to have this list. Okay? And this list has to be memorized. Okay? Here are some of the most common ones. You have bastante, demasiado, which means too or too much, mal, mucho. So we're not going to say malmente or muchamente. Okay? We're not going to do that. These do not follow the rule. They just say this way. Okay? Mal, mucho. Muy is very, so you can write this down so you don't forget, or as you're going through Middlebury, make sure you write this list for your quizzes and your tests for Unit 22. Muy is very. You have nunca as never. Peor as worse. Poco as little. Y siempre means always. So here are your common adverbs that don't follow the mente pattern. So just keep that in mind as you're taking your quizzes and tests. Okay? So if you see any of these with the mente, you know that's wrong. Okay? So you guys need a little bit more time, or you're good with that slide? Okay. ¿Qué sigue? Okay, what's next? So you're going to respond to your essential question 6 on 220 to get credit in Middlebury. Okay, and then If you are not done with your charts, okay, with your graphics, then you can have time to do so. I'm going to meet with a couple of students who need extra help for Spanish, and if you have any questions, please stay. Okay? So that's the end of this session through Illuminate. Any questions? I'll take right now. Any questions right now? No? Okay. So you guys are free to go. Yeah. You can have it. So is this okay? Is that okay? Okay. Sorry. Do you have any questions though? Not right now? Okay.